You can always just find a way just to roll it into a little bit of a roll, and you can actually lay over that. Mine's a little one, but you might be able to find a thicker blanket, and you can use that to come into that reclined butterfly pose, which just opens up the heart a little bit more. If you do have a bolster, you can come to lay over the bolster, and you can always place a block or a couple of blocks, or just one block underneath. But just important that we start with the knees wide, and you might not be able to sustain the legs knees wide the whole time, just as best you can. Hold them there. Another suitable thing is to place a couple of cushions underneath the knees, and then that just gives you a little bit more support so you're not coming into that full opening all at once. So just finding your starting position, closing down the eyes, eliminating any distractions from around your mat, from your sacred space. And then just taking a few rounds of breath as you close the eyes. And then just allow your physical body to settle on the earth. It's really taking a nourishing breath in through both nostrils. And then on the breath out, open the mouth and create a sound, exhaling the breath through the mouth. And then just take 3 more of those breaths in through both nostrils, sealing the lips to breathe in. And then expel anything that's not serving you in this moment, really setting the intention to be here now. To continue completing those breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Softening across the shoulders as you do. And on that last breath, just press the air out of the body. So just stay empty for a moment. Hold it there, pausing, sealing the lips. Just waiting to the point where you're bursting to take that next breath in. You might surprise yourself. You might be able to hold it longer than you think. And of course, whenever you are ready to inhale, let that beautiful flood of fresh oxygenated blood move into the whole of your being. And then just let the breath now settle to its natural rhythm. Just let them extend out wide if they're not there, just so you can start to feel this opening across the chest, particularly if you are laying over something. So we are starting with a very gentle heart opener if you do have something that you're able to place right behind the shoulder blades. And you'll definitely start to get into the inner thighs and the hips a little. But just feel the whole body melting in towards the earth. Feeling the back of the head as it drops gently. The softness of the eyelids. The softness of the jaw, the throat. Just that gentle rise and fall of the abdomen and chest. Just following each breath in and each breath out. Full permission for you to really let go of anything that's happened throughout your day, anything that you might have read or heard. Just let it all be in the past. It's not anything that you need to hold on to any longer. In this moment, we are completely safe. There is nothing that we need to worry about. So just allowing your body to fall into that parasympathetic nervous state where everything begins to work harmoniously together. So all your digestive organs, your respiratory system, just noticing how the whole body knows what to do. And all you really need to do is just simply step out of the way. Let the body settle, let the thoughts cease as best you can. And Thoughts will come and go. That's just a normal part of humanity. But it's important that we don't attach to the thoughts that we think. We can just witness them from a detached place. And maybe witness them as thinking thoughts, creative thoughts, doing thoughts, whatever those thoughts might be about. Know that they're not who you are, just something that you're experiencing. And then if the thought arises, witness it, let it go. And let that happen throughout the whole of your practice. Let that thought flow in without judgment, acknowledge it, and just let it dissipate. And whilst in this stillness, you might feel an intention arising from the depth of your soul, your heart. And that intention is yours and yours alone. There is no one right intention. Feel it from within. Let it flow freely into your awareness. Repeat it silently. If it's a intention with a word or a sentence, or it might be an affirmation, a reminder, a prayer. Or just sit with the feeling of being still and grounded in this moment. And whilst you anchor that intention into your being, just allow for 5 more slow, gentle breaths, really witnessing the quality of each of your natural breaths. See if you can find more softness through the physical body with each breath. Really allowing yourself to be here now, in this moment, with this breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Take your time to complete your 5 breaths, no rush. And when you do, if the knees are still out wide, you'll just very gently bring your hands to the outsides of your knees. Just gently use the hands to bring the knees together. And just pause there for a moment. And if you are laying on something, just gently roll to one side so you can remove whatever it is from underneath you. And then just come to a completely flat, neutral position on your back. And then just take this opportunity to draw the knees into the chest and to just massage that lower lumbar area of the spine as you create some circles, little gentle movements, side to side movements, whatever feels good for your body. Just keep rocking gently, moving side to side. And then just go ahead and gently bring one hand on each knee. And then just separate the knees wide so we're getting back into the inner thigh, the groin. And then pull the knees towards your armpits and then in towards the chest as the inner thighs and knees come to touch. And then bring them out wide again as you press them forward. So you're just creating some circles here, feeling those hip joints. So we're moving the legs in the opposite direction. And then you'll also take them in the other direction. So bringing them in, out wide, forward, and then back together. So just feeling the hips, the groin. And then we're going to set the left foot down on the earth, extend the right leg up to the ceiling, reach for the back of the thigh, maybe slide the hand even further towards the calf or the ankle, and just start to rotate that right ankle. So just moving in a circular motion. Notice which way it's circling to begin with. And you'll take those circles in both directions. So just very slow and gentle. Move the ankle in the opposite direction. It might not be your favored way of rotating, so notice how it feels. And then you're going to point and flex. So point the toes up to the ceiling, get a nice little arch through the top of the foot. And then flex the foot as you pull the toes down towards the knees, pressing up through the heel. And then just move again, pointing and flexing, but real slow. Try to pause for a few breaths with the heel, pressing up on the toes, pulling down, so dorsiflexing. And then a few breaths with the toes pointing, just so you can really notice the difference and what you experience, maybe the shift from the calf to the shin as you point flex. And then just point the toes, lift the head and shoulders up off the earth. Stay here or maybe slide that left heel forward. So you're working the shin towards the forehead, but you're also lifting the upper body so the forehead moves towards the shin. If the leg is extended, hover the left leg off the earth so the heel is hovering. Press the right heel up now, flex the foot, inhale. And then as you exhale, see if you can bring forehead and shin a little closer. 3 more breaths, inhale. Soft, gentle exhalation, feel the back of your right thigh. 2 more breaths. And maybe start to engage your Ujjayi breath, the sound in your throat. Take 1 more breath. As you exhale, lower the head down, bend the left knee, sole of the foot to the earth. Cross the right ankle over the top. Press the right knee forward. So just come into eye of the needle. Either stay or lift the left foot off the earth. Thread the right hand through that figure 4. Left hand comes to the outside. Hands behind the thigh or wrap around the shin. And then just draw the left knee in towards your left shoulder. So you're not rocking too far over to the right. Press your right knee forward, flex both feet, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, draw that left knee a little closer, press the right knee forward. Notice what you feel in that right glute. 3 more breaths, inhale. As you exhale, imagine that you're squeezing that knee in a little more, pressing the breath out. Soft, smooth inhale, slight release to honor your natural breath. Exhaling, pulling it a little closer. Let's just take 1 more round of breath here. Empty the breath, hold the breath out. Notice what you feel, sense in your physical body. Keep holding the breath again for as long as feels comfortable to you. When you are ready to breathe in, you'll just release. You'll keep the ankle crossed over the thigh. You'll just place the left foot down on the earth. Bring your left hand to your right knee and extend your right arm out in line with your shoulder. Take a spinal twist to the left. What you might want to do is lift up your hips, bump them underneath you. So you're just getting a little more rotation in the torso. And then notice if that just allows a little more twist there for you in your spine. Turn the chin towards the right shoulder if that feels good for your body. And then just breathe a few natural breaths here. No need to count. Just allow the rotation through the spine to happen effortlessly. Breathing in, breathing out. And we're just going to extend that top leg, which should be the right one. Just extend it out towards the left. So you're just straightening it out a little. You might want to slide the hand down towards the knee, calf, or some of you might be able to grab a hold of the outer blade of the foot. Doesn't matter whether you can or you can't, but just see if that gives you a little more rotation or just a different feel. And then we'll slowly come back through center, bend the knee, roll yourself back. Press your feet into the earth, bring your fingertips towards your heels, lift the hips just to bring them back to neutral, and then slowly lower the hips back down. And then left leg will lift up towards the ceiling, hand behind the thigh, slide it up if you feel towards the ankle. And then just again, rotate that left ankle joint. Just notice the synovial fluid, that's the fluid that lubricates the joints. Notice what you feel in the ankle. Slow conscious movements in one direction. And then you'll switch, you'll notice what motivates you to switch directions. Notice the creaks and the clicks that might be occurring. There'll also be a point and a flex whenever you're ready for that to happen. Remember, it's just slow and conscious, just noticing the point and what you might feel on the top of the foot or the shin. And then when you dorsiflex and press the heel up, you might notice more the back of the leg. And then when you've moved the foot in all directions, we're going to keep it pointed to begin with. A lift of the head and shoulders, which is optional. Give it a go, see how it feels. And then the option to slide the right heel forward and hover it off the earth. And then not just pulling the leg towards the forehead, but also get that lift. So you're working the abdomen just a fraction here as well. And then breathing in. And as you exhale, forehead and shin move towards one another. Notice as you breathe in, there's a slight release. But the exhalation allows you to go just a fraction deeper again. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale. Just flex the toes now. Exhale. Beautiful. Breathing. And when you've completed those breaths, bend that right knee. Cross the left ankle over the right. And just start by pressing that left knee forward. Notice what you're feeling in that left hip joint. And you can stay if that's enough for you. Otherwise, you can lift that left foot, right foot. And we're just coming into that eye of the needle, figure 4 shape. But just ensure that the right knee lines up with your right shoulder. So you might want to just gently rock a little side to side to get that action. Flex both feet. Take a breath in. Find center. And then as you exhale, it's the right knee that pulls to the right armpit. Left knee presses forward. So notice the traction there. Full deep breath in. Slight release to notice how the belly needs a little space. And then as you exhale, you can draw that right knee closer, left knee presses forward. Explore 3 more of your own breaths. Finding that sound in your throat, your Ujjayi breath. When you've completed your 3 rounds, see if you can hold the breath out for as long as you can. Just challenging yourself without struggling, of course. Just see what happens. Imagining that you're underwater. When you do breathe in, releasing the hands, the right foot down, left knee stays where it is, left hand in line with shoulder, right hand to the knee. And then as you bring the knee across, you can lift the hips, bump them underneath you. So you're moving the hips towards the left. And then just take that rotation through the torso. Just pausing there for a few rounds of breath. You can turn the chin to the left shoulder. And if it doesn't want to stay there and it's a little straight on the neck, just keep the head directly upright, or it's okay to have the chin moving towards the right shoulder. Just notice your body and what it's requiring today. And then that option to extend that top leg long, so extending it out to the side. You might be able to grab a hold of a foot. You might just place the hand underneath the knee and hold on. Just see what happens, how that feels. Find that left hip crease, that hip bone, and you're pulling it down towards the back edge of your mat, towards the right foot. Breathing in and breathing out, just enjoying that rotation. And then we'll slowly come back to center by bending the knee. Bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Reach your fingers to your heels. Just as we did before, lift the hips. They might have moved off center if you did move them. Hold it lifted here for a moment. Keep squeezing the buttocks. Press the feet into the earth. And as you exhale, allow the hips to lower to the mat. And then on your next breath in, as you inhale, reach the arms and hips high. And then bring the backs of the hands to the earth. Lift your hips to their maximum height. And then as you exhale the breath, release the hands in line with your hips. And then lower the hands and hips together. There's a pelvic tilt. Arch the spine, so you want to tilt the pelvis back. And then as you inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, press the lower back into the earth, and then use that breath in to float. Backs of the hands touch, hips lift. Notice the pause there. As you exhale the breath, stay lifted with the hips. Bring the arms down, then the hands and the hips. So there's kind of 2 parts to the breath. Rock the hips back so you're arching through the spine. Get that beautiful pelvic tilt. And then tilt it forward, reaching in. Take 5 more. So if you keep the hips lifted, bring the hands in line with hips. Hips and hands come down together on your exhalation. Complete your 4 more. You can close the eyes. Or they just might be softly, gently focused on one point, which might be the tip of the nose. You might have the eyes maybe 1/10 open. Just keeping you in that state of stillness, of inner reflection. So completing 5 in total. When you do complete your 5, just release the hips to the earth. We're going to draw the knees back into the chest. Little rock, little movement. This time extend both legs up, maybe a happy baby as you grab the feet, or you can roll both ankles, or you can drop the knees side to side. You can do a combination of all of these. So just enjoy what we've awakened in the lower part of the body. And then we are going to rock and roll if that works for your body. If it doesn't, just going to roll to one side and come to hands and knees. So we're just going to meet in a tabletop position, adjusting the knees under the hips. And then pressing the hands into the earth. Just begin to find cat-cow. So cat, inhaling, arching through the spine. Sorry, cow pose, exhaling, cat, we round through the spine. Doesn't matter what we call it, just that we're extending and flexing through the spine. Just take a few rounds of breath. And then exhale your breath through the mouth, through the tongue. And again, noticing that pause between the breaths, particularly that exhalation, zipping the belly in, coughing out any sensations, any phlegm that might be there and present. And then we'll come back to neutral. We're going to curl the toes under. We're going to meet in down dog. If that's not your friend today, just curl the toes under, reach the hands forward to come to puppy pose. Or you might just want to start there and enjoy that. And then maybe when you're ready, find a down dog. It doesn't have to be the pose that you stay in. You might just trial it out, see what the wrists are doing. As you gently pedal the feet, if you are in down dog, you're still noticing the backs of the thighs, legs, calves. We did work them a little, just notice them as we bring awareness to the lower part of the body. And then take a bend of the knees, take a little ripple forward to plank. And then lower the knees, untuck the toes, shift back to a child's pose. Take a full deep breath in. Just exhale the breath out. Rise to hands and knees, inhale. Shift the shoulders in line with your fingertips, look out in front. Zip the belly in, so we're not arching the spine, but there's that drawing in of pubic bone to navel. From there, hover the chest and chin off the earth. It's just a hover. And then press yourself back up, inhale. Then as you exhale, curl your toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And then turn the toes to the right, and then lower the heels to the left. And then just gently bend the knees and press your chest towards the center. You're going to get a little rotation through the spine. Press both hands into the earth, inhale. And exhale. And then as you inhale, come forward to plank pose. As you exhale, lower knees, untuck the toes, chest and chin. Come all the way down now to the belly. Rise to a little cobra, hug the shoulders back and down, hug the elbows into the rib cage. And then exhale, fold your forehead to the earth. Twice more as you rise, hug those elbows in, see if you can float the hands off the earth. Use your exhalation to float down. Try that again, tops of the feet press, maybe kneecaps lift, inhale. Exhale as you take it to the earth. Press to hands and knees, inhaling. Curl your toes under, shift the hips back, downward facing dog if you are moving to down dog. Swivel all 10 toes to the left, drop the heels to the right, and then bend both knees. So you're noticing that you're kind of twisting through the body a little. Notice the hands pressing, the belly pressing as best you can to the back of your mat. Maybe feeling the length through the left side of the body. And then as you inhale, you'll swivel back onto the toes to plank pose. Maybe you stay on the toes this time, lowering down onto the abdomen. Untuck the toes, take a little back bend, maybe come up a little bit higher, but without this shrug in the shoulders, so keep them hugging back and down. Exhale, folding back down to the earth. From here, extend your right arm out to the right, bend your left knee. Left hand is under the shoulder, and then you're going to use that left hand to roll you all the way over onto the right side of the body as the foot drops to the earth. Your right palm is facing down, so we're getting into the chest area here. If you're not feeling too much, some of us are quite open in the shoulder, roll back onto your abdomen, bend your elbow, and then roll yourself over. It's going to be a lot deeper with that elbow bent. So just go ahead and open through that shoulder region. Take a few breaths and see how that feels. Using that left hand to press into the earth, you've got the traction there. Some of you might want to release your left hand as well. So you might reach the arm up, you might wrap it behind the back. Taking a few rounds of breath. And those of you who are super open, your left knee is up towards the ceiling. What you might do is step the right foot beside the left, so both knees are facing upwards. But be mindful of any shoulder injuries as well. So I can't see you guys, so I know it's sometimes a little bit of a tricky one to get into. So feel it in that chest area. Settle there, bring the head on the earth. You don't want to have the head lifted, just rest it on something if you need. Sometimes it's nice to have a block or a cushion underneath the head. Once you've got it, take 5 more breaths here. Just breathing into that shoulder area. Counting your 5 slow rhythmic breaths. We'll all finish at different times, no doubt. But when you do complete your 5 rounds of breath, release that left hand down if you did lift it. You're just going to roll back onto the abdomen. It's a slow, gentle slide in of your right hand when you do. Just observe how it feels. We're going to take it straight to the left. Palm faces down. Start with the right knee bent. Press into the right hand and roll, and then assess how it feels. If you want to go deeper, you can come back. You can make a stop sign or an L shape with that arm, and then roll yourself back over. Sometimes we hold the head up. You want to relax the neck. So if the floor's too far away, use something underneath to support you. Keep pressing the right hand down into the floor, or you might want to wrap it behind you. Some of you might even want to bend both knees. One doesn't want to work on this side, or you even might have both legs long. So just settle as you feel across the chest, the heart-lung meridian. Breathing in and breathing out. So let your whole body settle in stillness without resisting. And then just 5 more breaths. Count them really slowly and gently. Allow the journey to be an internal journey of sensation, of strength, self-love. Returning to your intention often. And take your time once you complete. Once again, just as you came into the pose, you're going to gently come out of the pose. You might notice a sensation, pins and needles sensation perhaps. Press both hands into the earth. Gently press back into child's pose. We're just going to bring the arms behind us in our full child's pose, just to release the shoulders. Maybe roll on the forehead or bring a cushion or a block with you under the forehead for support. And just letting the body move a little side to side, massaging that third eye. And then we will be coming back to down dog. So just meeting there when you're called. Reaching one arm forward, the other. Hands and knees, curling toes, lifting knees. And then just notice how your down dog feels. See if you can find stillness here. Bring the feet hip distance apart. So just imagine that you've got your, so have a look at the length of your foot. Then imagine that you've actually got the length of your foot kind of between both feet. That's kind of a nice gauge to think about. Zip the lower belly in and up and lengthen the tailbone down so we're not pushing the ribs towards the, we are pressing the ribs to the thighs, but some of us are super open in the legs, so you might want to gently press back. So you can kind of see how I'm dipping. You might want to press yourself back. That's your downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, pressing both hands firmly into the earth, spreading your fingers wide. Exhale, drawing the belly in. See if you can lower the heels to the earth, shaking off the head so you're not holding tension now. 3 more breaths. Hear that ujjayi breath, that sound in your throat. And when you've completed 3 breaths, have a look at your hands and then just find a way to come to the top of your mat. It might be nice just to stroll there for the first one. Bring the big toes to touch if you can. And then find a halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins to press your spine long. Pull your shoulders back. And then what you want to try and do is create length as much as you can in the side waist and the neck. So shoulders pull back, belly zips in strongly. Keep your gaze a fraction forward, but the crown is pulling forward. Take another breath in. And then exhale, release all of that, fold forward. Just take a few breaths here in your forward fold, inhaling and exhaling. 2 more breaths, just a nice easy fold. Hands might not be anywhere near the earth, so use something underneath or use your hands on your shins. And then we'll take another half lift. Inhale, maybe fingertips come to the earth, maybe they don't. Shins is your alternative. Exhale, take a forward fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and then reach your arms up, come to chair pose, palms face up. Draw the belly in and try to lengthen through your fingertips. Sink the hips a little bit lower, shift your weight to your heels, maybe pick up all of your 10 toes, spread your toes wide, reach through the fingers a little more, take a breath in. Sink the hips, reach the fingers, exhale. As you inhale, press your palms, straighten your legs, take a little bit of a back bend here. And then as you exhale, bring the hands through the center of the body, take a gentle forward fold to Uttanasana. Half lift, inhale, hands in any variation, shins or floor. As you exhale, step the right foot back, lower the knee to the earth, keep your back toes curled under. Reach your left arm up, inhale. And then as you exhale, circle it back behind you. Turn your thumb to face up, bend that front knee a little. You can make the adjustment with the right hand. Stay here or take a bend of your back leg, catch a hold of a foot. Those of you who might want to go a little bit deeper, you might notice the forearm wanting to come down. So really getting nice and deep into the quadricep. If that's not working for you, you might actually have a strap or a scarf or a belt that you're using as your strap. You might stay upright and twist the chest. So you're just going to find your variation in this one. Maybe pull the heel a little bit closer to the buttocks, a bit more than you normally would. So you can really get nice and deep into that front quadricep on the right side. Breathing in, breathing out. Soft, gentle breaths, honoring your natural rhythm. No strain. 2 more breaths. Try not to grip the floor with your toes either. And then if you did come onto the forearm, press into the hand. Slowly release the foot. Lift the back knee, reach the left arm up. We're going to take a forward fold to the right. So as you drop that left hand, bring it to the center, bring the right hand to meet. Turn your toes with you. Take a sway through the hips side to side. Get into the inner thighs and the groin. And then we will hold a forward fold there in a moment. So just let there be some movement first. And then just take that wide leg forward fold, adjusting the feet as much as you need, closer together or further apart. Toes are facing forward. Take a little fold here, shaking of the head again. Just really let the head relax here. Let the arms just droop to the earth. If you're quite open, you might notice the forearms come to the earth. If they do, turn your palms up. If you're finding that you naturally are quite open and you come all the way down, head down, just shorten your stance a little bit. That way you've just got more space to fold. Just let yourself just dangle there, really. Lifting the arches of the feet a little, pressing the outer blades of the feet into the earth. Just noticing the backs of the legs, the hips, maybe a little bit into the groin. Breathing in and out. 3 more breaths here, inhaling. Exhale. What are you letting go of? What are you clearing? What's no longer serving you in this moment? And then when you've completed 3 rounds of breath, pop a little bend in your knees, just so you can roll and round yourself up. As you do, sweep the arms out wide, and then keep them lifted as you turn your toes out. Adjust your stance, bend your knees, come to a goddess squat. So you might need to make the adjustment here. Squeeze right behind your shoulder blades without pressing those ribs forward. So you want to draw them in, belly draws in. Beautiful. And then as you inhale, reach the arms, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend and sink a little deeper. Again, try to avoid gripping the floor with your toes. Press through your heels. Inhale, reach, strengthen, lengthen fingertips. As you exhale, bend elbows, bend knees. One more time, breath in. And then exhale, hold here. Take a breath in. Same as you exhale, palms, forearms, elbows come together. Sink a little deeper. Try to get those elbows to touch. And as you inhale, open the elbows, but keep the knees bent. You might still come up a little bit. As you exhale, palms, elbows. So really building Agni and fire here in our practice. Again, inhale to open. Really balancing that yin and yang. Exhaling, palms, elbows, forearms touch. One more of these. Inhale. Exhale, palms, elbows, forearms touch. Hold it here as you breathe in. Maybe thumbs touch your third eye. Activating our intuition, finding inner and outer strength. 3 more breaths. Trust yourself, trust your body, trust your mind. When you've taken 3, press through the heels. Inhale, turn the toes forward. Take a little bit of a back bend. And then as you exhale, bring that hands through the midline. Take a little half lift. Notice how the body feels. Exhale, fold. We're going to spin around back to the front of the mat. So pivot on the heels, lift the toes, spin yourself back around. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a flow, or you can skip it if you choose. Bend knees, ripple forward. Notice the heat, the energy in your body. Knees or straight legs, chaturanga, elbows shave the rib cage. Maybe you suspend off the floor, come to an up dog. Thighs lift, belly off the mat. Exhaling, downward facing dog or child's pose. 3 rounds of breath. Notice the position of your feet, your hands. Feel your breath. Inhaling, maybe lift the heels. Maybe a lion's breath. Exhale. Soft and smooth. Nice. One more. And then we look forward, bend the knees on the exhalation step, walk, or maybe take a little leap of faith to the top of your mat, big toe mounds touch. Half lift, inhale, Adha Uttanasana, Adha, half. Exhaling to Uttanasana as you'll fold, twice more. Find as much length through the neck, the spine, inhale. Feel the exhalation as you fold. Again, full deep breath in. Exhale the breath out, bend your knees, drop your hips, come back to Utkatasana. Fierce pose is a translation of this pose. So find the strength, find the fierceness within as you build fire, Agni in your body. 2 more breaths, inhale. Sink a little deeper, reach for your fingertips, palms, let them face upwards, little fingers in. And then press palms, straighten legs, inhale, take that beautiful juicy back bend, maybe a little further back. Exhaling, hands through the midline, folding back to the earth. Half lift as your in-breath. As you exhale, stepping your left foot back, lowering the knee. We're reaching the right arm up. And then reach the arm back behind you. Turn your thumb to spin open. See if you can bend the knee and grab something to catch a hold of the foot, whether it be your hand or a strap, just so you can get into the quadricep a little here. Pull the heel in a little closer, maybe spin the chest towards the inner right thigh, or perhaps bring your forearm down onto the earth. So your choice, your body will guide you where you're meant to be. Just settle here for a few rounds of breath. You'll notice the Agni, the fire burning in your body now. So just sit with that energy that's permeating through you, the chi, the prana. Inhaling and exhaling. Soft, gentle breaths. You do want to feel something, so use the hand, pull the heel to the buttock, or use that strap. Nice. 3 more breaths. Hear that sound in your breath, your Ujjayi pranayama. Complete your 3 rounds without rushing, even though the heart rate might be slightly elevated. And as you release, try not to flick the foot away, be controlled. If you're on the forearm, you'll come up, release the foot, curl the toes, lift the back knee, reach the arm up. And once again, come into side lunges, this time just spinning around to the left, coming into those movements through the hips, side to side, left and right. Nice and deep. Now we're going to hold the side lunge. I'm just going to spin myself around so I can face you guys. And you're just going to bend one knee, doesn't matter if it's left or it's right. Now, sometimes we find that we're in this side lunge, we keep the toes facing forward, and we kind of can't go anywhere from here. So if you turn your heel in and your toes out and slide the other foot in, you can actually lift the heel and kind of let the knee overshoot the ankle. So that's kind of the side lunge rather than, I've seen a lot of people trying to tackle it from here and they're like, it's impossible. You need to have that external rotation in order to get that. And we're just gonna settle here. So if you know that this is like way too uncomfortable, you can always grab a block and just gently place it underneath the hips, the buttocks, maybe even a cushion. We are going to hold this for a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit more of a yin long hold. So get into your nice side lunge. You've got the bolster there. You can always use that out in front of you. And just let your body settle there. If you notice there's an natural internal rotation of the thigh, go with it. Some of us, we're quite different in this pelvic region. So for some of us, it's the bone-to-bone compression that avoids an external rotation. For some of us, it's bone-to-bone compression when we come into the internal rotation. So just notice your own body. The heel might be lifted, which is that bottom heel, or it might come all the way down. You might even start to come forward a little bit. And then just close the eyes. Just take some natural rhythmic breaths here. Soft, gentle, in and out breaths. Breathing in and out. Notice if there's tension building in any part of your body. Sometimes jaw and throat tends to contract. Let that go. See what else there is that's lingering that doesn't need to be there. Settling. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then just go ahead and complete 5 more rounds of breath. It might be a drop of the chin to the chest. You might round forward. You might be upright. Try to avoid pushing the floor away. Let the hips really sink to the earth. Complete your 5 rounds of breath with effortless ease. And maybe notice the exhalation longer than the inhalation. The softness in the brow, particularly. Space behind the eyes, that center of intuition. Trust yourself, trust your inner compass. Count those breaths, complete them at your own accord. And then take your time to come out. You might just need to press the hands into the earth, maybe to lift a heel. And a really nice release is just to come to a forward fold. Just dangle there. If you need that support, bring something underneath you just so you can dangle, or just bring a little movement through the hips. Go ahead and shake the legs out a little if you need. And we're just going to roll ourselves back up to standing. A little bend in the knees. And just take a standing rebound. If you need a little bit of a shorter stance with the legs, just toe heel them together and just stand. Close the eyes and just feel this beautiful sway forward and back. And then maybe shift the weight back, so lift the toes, spread them as wide as you can, and then place the toes back down. And notice how there's more of a solid support there. And then with your eyes closed, picture the base of your heel, left and right heel. So imagining kind of that center heel and the outer left and right part of the heel rooting down into the earth. And then find the base of your big toe mounds. Press them down without gripping the floor with your toes. And then find the base of your pinky toes. And then find an equal distribution between those points, like a tripod. And there might be a natural movement through the body as you stand still, but you are still nonetheless. Your breath naturally creates movement. Feel something flowing inside of you. Notice if you can feel chi. So in the Yin practice, which is mainly based in the Chinese medicine system, we talk about qi, which is energy, and meridians, which is the pathways where the qi flows through. And in the yang, which is more based in the Indian, Hindu philosophy, we talk about prana and nadis, which are the same thing. So these were known throughout all cultures. The prana is the energy, the nadis are the channels. Gently bring the chin to the chest, roll yourself down. And then once again, toe heel the feet to a nice width and just sway the hips again, left, right, side to side. You'll know which side you haven't done. That's the side lunge we're going to tackle now. And then again, notice how toes might turn out and you might slide the foot in to get the knee to overshoot the ankle. So that's the side lunge, getting into the groin area. Again, if you try and tackle it from here, it's kind of impossible to get that knee. You kind of need to create space in that ball and socket joint of the hip and pelvis. And again, just notice how this side feels. You no doubt did the most preferred side on your first side. So just see how it feels on this second side. Take a little bit of a movement, use any props. Even if you are supporting yourself, you're not just sitting on it, you're still feeling something. So there still might be a little bit of a lean forward where you get a sensation. And then notice the leg that's extended. Is there a natural inner rotation? Are you trying to force your body into a shape because you've heard it in another style of practice in a class? I don't know if we were more in the yang practice, it's more active through the muscles, but we're getting a little bit deeper into the connective tissues of the body, which is more the balance of the yin and the yang. So just allowing the muscles to settle. And then just breathing in and out. And again, just choosing any props, anything that you might wish to bring out in front of you. It might just be the hands. If the hands do come to the earth, palms facing up is always an opportunity for you to let go and to surrender this sense of being open, receptive, calm, and balanced. Maybe chin falls to the throat. You might notice the back of the neck lengthening a little bit more. Let the whole body settle, the spine settle. So really focusing on the inner thighs and the groin. Noticing the breath that guides you deeper and deeper. Scanning the body for any tight and sticky spots. Find stillness with a soft jaw, soft eyes, soft brown temples. And then just go ahead and explore 5 more breaths. Know that this too shall pass in a moment. Complete those breaths. Witness the resistance, the temptation to move, to fuss, to fidget, to come out prematurely. And of course, if there's pain in your body, you know your body better than anyone else, so you are in complete control. It's really challenging the mind. We use the breath to rein in the vrittis, the thoughts, the mind stuff. Take your time, complete your breaths. Once again, palms will support you, so you will press them down. Always a little weight in those hands to get a little lift, and then just notice how you feel. You might pause in the center, turning those toes in and just observing. You can dangle there, or maybe just bring something underneath you. And if it feels good to take a little bend of the knees just to get the flow of blood back into the body, go ahead and do that. And then we are going to roll ourselves up again, turning the toes slightly forward, maybe toe heeling the feet a little closer. Just roll yourself up, sweep the arms out wide and up. Interlace the fingers at the top, press your palms up to the ceiling and just enjoy a little bit of a back bend here. So just leaning a little back, pressing the pelvis forward and try to lengthen through the sternum, palms facing up and gently back. Try to get the arm bones back behind the ears. It might be the tight upper back or shoulders that are preventing you from opening up in this direction, so just be aware. And then as you exhale, bring the hands behind you, interlace them. See if you can place the hands with the opposite grip on top, the opposite index finger on top. So we have a least preferred grip. Go ahead and find that least preferred grip. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, open your chest, throat, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, take a little dive forward between those legs. Toes are facing forward, arms start to reach forward. If there is uncomfortable shoulders or injuries through the shoulders, place your hands to your lower back. Even interlace them, keep them to the lower back. Otherwise, start to straighten the elbows and then maybe lift the arms. Keep the heel of the hands together. And just let yourself be heavy and free here. Maybe dangle the head. Maybe shift the weight a little forward and back. So if you spread the toes really wide, when you shift back, you get more support through your toes. And then just a little shift forward, back. And as you micro move forward and back, you'll notice really small little sensations through the backs of the legs. And then find a place that feels nice and interesting and maybe somewhere that's been unexplored, because we always tend to go for the most familiar. And then maybe hold it there as best you can, maybe legs straighten. You might even notice that you're shifting more weight onto one side than the other. Maybe we bump a hip out. Just be aware of the whole body and whether both heels are grounded and equal, whether we're pressing through the outer blades of the feet. Maybe a slight lift of the arches of the feet. Maybe the arms now start to open up a little bit more. Take 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhaling, diving a little bit closer through the legs. 2 more breaths. Make them slow and conscious. Nice. 1 more breath. Beautiful. And then slowly release the hands to the earth. You're going to pivot around the front of your mat again. So lift your toes, walk your hands back around. Step back down dog. Take a little pedal out through your feet. Little left, a little right. Notice how that feels in your body. Bend your knees. Take a little way forward to plank. We're going to lower onto the abdomen. Take it down for a count of 5. So you can drop the knees, start bending the elbows. 5, 4, keep the belly zipped in. 3, 2, and 1. Just release the toes, release the hands, one on top of the other. Place the forehead on the hands. Separate the feet a little wider so you can release through the lower back and just be still. Breathing in and breathing out. Letting the whole spine settle. And I'm going to give you 2 options. We're going to finish off with a supported back bend of some description. So option 1 is staying on the abdomen. You can stay in a sphinx pose. You can bring something underneath you to kind of lay on, so you're getting a nice gentle back bend. You can find your variation. Or this will work if you've got a block or a bolster. The one on the earth, where you will find the hips, bring them on top of the bolster, and then you can create the back bend here with the support. You might even extend the legs, which gets nice and deep into that lower back and also the front of the hips. If bolsters aren't available and you've got a couple of blocks or a block, you can always place a block underneath the hips or 2 blocks with the widest support or just 1 block. So just choose a supported variation of a back bend and just settle there. So it should be nice and comfortable. Make some sounds, maybe a tongue to chin, release, lion's breath. And then just really begin to notice the Agni that we've ignited in our body. Agni is fire, heat, energy. And it's also known as tapas. Tapas is that fire that we build. It helps to burn away anything that doesn't serve us. So we build that heat, generate that heat, we sit with it, and then it disappears, it goes, it dissipates, and the body settles. And now that we're still, we can feel the fluctuations of energy flowing through us. You might feel the sensations in that lower back region in your variation of your back bend. Try to settle into it, so relaxing the feet, the hands, the head even. Notice any thoughts and what they might be about. You might have noticed there hasn't been as much thinking as we focus on our physical body and our breath. The breath becomes our anchor into this reality. And so when you're feeling a little anxious, a little uncertain, a little stressed, which can pop up from time to time, just come back to the sense of breath, awareness, full deep breaths, maybe going outside to get just a little air. Maybe we spend a lot of time inside working at our desks, our home office, our computer. And we forget the importance of just clearing the mind, just taking a little reset, whether that be just 5 minutes, just to walk away from screens or distractions, just to come back to you, your heart, your heartbeat, to come back to what feels true to you. Find 5 more breaths. If you are on your back and you haven't already extended legs and you'd like to try it, give it a go. It does create an opening through the front of the hip flexor here as well. If it's too strong, maybe try 1 leg for a few breaths and switch. So it might be 2 breaths, or 3 and 3. Take an extra breath. Just go with what your body communicates to you. Knowing that the spaceship, this temple, this vessel, this physical body of ours that houses our soul, has that inner intelligence to heal itself, to witness how our thoughts can be a part of the healing process, or the process of the uncomfortable sensations or the dis-ease that we create in our body when we're constantly tensing or thinking thoughts that just aren't true, aren't serving us. We contract our organs, our body, which after time, blocked energy, blocked chi or prana. Let your self come slowly out of where you are. So you're either going to lift the hips to remove the block or bolster or whatever it is to lay on your back, or you're just going to come to lay flat on your belly and just flat back or belly and just let the lower back settle. You might feel this dull sensation in the lower back, this tingling. See if you can feel it with a beginner's mind, as if you have occupied your body for the very first time. And you're feeling all this pulse of life inside of you. And that's what it would have felt like the first time we entered this body. We would have just been feeling all these sensations that feel so foreign, but we become accustomed to them throughout life. It's just something that we take for granted. Perhaps we don't even notice them anymore until all of a sudden we get this sharp shooting pain because we've ignored something. We create that sickness or dis-ease in our body. We're constantly contracting and not allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to be the most dominant system. You might press back into child's pose now if you're on your belly, or you might now hug your knees into the chest. So just let that lower back release. So finding the knees, hugging them in, or pressing back to child's pose, moving the hips a little. And then if you are in child's pose, you're going to come onto your back. So we're just going to come onto the back, and you're going to take any little movements that you need before we allow our bodies to settle in Shavasana. So you might wish to rock a little side to side. You might wish to extend legs again. Maybe even take a twist. Notice how it feels a second time around. Notice the inner thighs. You might want to widen, see how that feels. So really work that inner seam of the body, the legs, shoulders. And then when you're ready to settle, if you've got a wall that you'd like to use, by all means, legs up the wall, which is known as Viparita Karani, is an amazing pose to relax those tired legs. It's said to help alleviate varicose veins as well, just because the blood flows downwards rather than down the legs rather than constantly going one way. We're always standing, so that might be a perfect opportunity for you just to lift the legs, supporting them on a wall, if you've got wall space. If not, traditional Shavasana on your back is perfect. Grab any blankets, any eye pillows, dim any lights, and then just settle. And I know that we come to the end of our practice and we might try to distract ourselves out of stillness. Give yourself this time, really important. This is the time where we integrate all of the energy that we've created inside of us, the Agni, the heat, the fire. So noticing how it helps to purify our thoughts, our minds, helps to cleanse. Use this time to help you perhaps sift through all of the stuff that we find online, that we see, that we read, that we hear. Use that time to be in a complete, still and balanced place. And you might notice that just naturally the things that really don't resonate with you will just disappear. And maybe the things that really do resonate with you, the penny will drop. And then you might get this sense of aha, that aha moment where everything just makes sense. And that's not going to happen if you don't take those pauses in your everyday life. So this is the opportunity to pause, to breathe, to deeply connect, and to be still. To feel the whole physical body on the earth, this vessel, witnessing the beauty and the gift of life, the beauty of being in a body at this time for whatever purpose. Trust and surrender. Soft shoulders, heavy head. Soft jaw and throat. Open heart and open mind. Belly rising, belly falling. Chest expanding, heart lifting, throat open. Chest contracting, a sense dissolving into the earth. You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your mind. Our body is borrowed. We will give it back. We know this. It's not a big secret. We don't live in this body forever. But our soul lives. That is our truth, our essence. Feel that which occupies your body. That which is beyond thinking and thought and constructs. Be here now. Breathing, feeling breath. Feeling light, open, grand. Strong, powerful, your creative energy. Just go ahead and explore 5 breaths. Breathing in all of that richness of oxygen around you. Breathing in that inner strength, that light that is who you are. Breathing away, clearing in order to begin again that next breath. New opportunity to take in this moment. And once again to let that go. It's borrowed, we don't need it any longer, it served its purpose. Complete your 5 breaths. And if you do wish to stay on the earth or with legs up the wall and you've just landed in a beautiful, comfortable position and you don't want to move yet, enjoy your stillness. If you feel to collectively come out, we can close our practice together. So if you are wanting to come out, just start to wriggle a little or come off a wall. Take all the time that you need and just we'll meet in a seated position, just a nice little brief seated meditation, whether it be kneeling or cross-legged. As long as the spine is erect, you know that it's a choice. You can just remain on the earth and enjoy the rest of your evening. And if you are seated, bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Press your thumbs in towards the center of the chest, the breastbone. And then press your chest forward into the thumbs just to broaden the collarbones. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, gently bow your chin towards your chest, bringing your gaze with closed eyes towards your fingertips. Reconnect to your intention. Maybe there's something that you wish to add. Maybe you had one of those epiphanies, those aha moments. Remember to take those pauses throughout your day and to smile often. Have a beautiful journey into your evening. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste, beautiful yogis, yogis. So much love. Be well. See you next week.